In the last episode, we explored how British rule influenced Cyprus and Iraq. Now, our journey continues to Sudan and Nigeria, two countries separated by thousands of kilometers, yet linked by a common imperial history. Before European colonization, both regions had long and complex histories. Powerful kingdoms, thriving trade routes, and diverse cultures had developed over centuries. Then, the 19th century transformed Africa forever. European powers competed for territory, resources, and influence. Historians often refer to this period as the scramble for Africa. Lines were drawn, often with little regard for the people already living there. Communities that had long governed themselves found their futures reshaped by distant decisions. Britain emerged as one of Africa's largest colonial powers. Among them, Sudan and Nigeria. Although both were governed by Britain, they were administered very differently. Those differences would leave very different legacies. Let's begin with Sudan. For centuries, the Nile shaped the region's civilizations. Different kingdoms, religions, and cultures flourished across the region. By the late 19th century, Britain and Egypt established joint rule over Sudan. Officially, Sudan was governed jointly. In practice, Britain exercised the dominant influence. The decisions made during this period would shape Sudan for generations. British administrators soon adopted different approaches to governing northern and southern Sudan. The north was governed differently from the south. Different legal systems, different schools, different administrative priorities. These policies gradually reduced contact between the two regions. When independence eventually came, the divisions had not disappeared. The new nation inherited many unresolved challenges. Civil war would eventually follow. Its causes were many: political, economic, religious, and ethnic. Colonial administrative policies were one part of that much larger story. Meanwhile, more than 3,000 kilometers away, Britain faced a different challenge. Nigeria was home to hundreds of different ethnic groups, each with its own traditions, languages, and systems of government. Rather than replacing many local rulers, Britain often governed through them. This became known as indirect rule. Supporters argued it was efficient. Critics argued it strengthened existing inequalities. Then, in 1914, Britain made one of its most significant administrative decisions. Northern and southern Nigeria were merged into a single colony. The goal was administrative efficiency, but governing such a diverse territory would prove enormously challenging. Different regions developed at different speeds. Under different policies, those differences, it would continue shaping Nigerian politics long after independence. In Part 5, we'll travel to Sri Lanka and Malaya, where British economic policies, migration, and constitutional reforms shaped two very different nations and left legacies that are still debated today. If we don't understand where today's conflicts came from, we're far less likely to understand why they continue. If you want more documentaries that examine history, evidence, and the stories behind today's conflicts, subscribe to Uncover the Truth.